The Trump Department of Justice is looking to let the only police officer convicted in the botched raid that killed Breonna Taylor back in 2020 go with just a slap on the wrist. The Department of Justice is recommending that the former Louisville police officer, Brett Hankison, serve only 1 day in jail for violating Breonna Taylor's civil rights. Now, remember, Hankinson was found guilty last year for his role in the botched raid, where he had basically ended up firing blindly his service weapon, taking his gun, firing blindly into Taylor's apartment during this raid. That left the 26-year-old EMT dead. So now he's going to be sentenced for this on Monday, and here's the DOJ saying, just give him a day. It'll be fine. Federal prosecutors are asking that his his punishment be reduced to time served and 3 years of supervised release. So 1 day in jail. 1 day in jail. Now, unsurprisingly, the people that signed off on this filing were Trump appointed, Trump political appointees. Okay. This is a Civil Rights Division head, Harmeet Dhillon, and a senior non-career official. These are political appointees. And so it's no surprise that they're the ones saying, oh yeah, just give him a slap on the wrist, 1 day, time served, supervised release, go super, super easy on him. Gee, I wonder why. This is clearly political. Look, none of the prosecutors who actually served to go after Hankinson during the original trial, were involved in this actual suggestion. Okay. Now, their argument here is that, yeah, okay, even though Hankinson had fired blindly into the apartment, potentially putting everyone around him at risk, he didn't actually intend to harm anybody. Really? That's weird. Prosecutors wrote, defendant Hankinson did not shoot Ms. Taylor and is not otherwise responsible for her death. Okay, but still, what he did, he recklessly endangered everyone around. I mean, you're telling me that if you're a cop and you're wildly shooting into an apartment, but managed not to hit anyone, then that's okay? And you didn't mean any harm, even though you were firing a deadly weapon into the walls and into the apartments next door, but you didn't mean any harm. Oh, okay. No, that's insane. I know that if you were a regular person and you start doing that, you start firing blindly around you, of course you're going to get arrested. You're going to get charged with reckless endangerment, and you're probably going to go to prison. But apparently, if you're a cop, there are different rules here. Oh, okay. No wonder cops supported Donald Trump in his election. Okay, even though what happened on January 6th, where cops were assaulted by the MAGA mob that Trump was egging on, they still supported him. They still supported him because of stuff like this. Because they're given carte blanche to get away with whatever they want. It's disgusting. Okay. Now, you add to this the fact that no one else was held accountable for Taylor's murder. And yes, it is a murder. That's what happened. Cops murdered her. They broke into her home on a phony warrant looking for somebody who wasn't even there, and they shot her in her sleep. Her boyfriend at the time, right, straight up thought that her apartment was being invaded by criminals. And so he shot once. One shot. And then cops went crazy. And Hankinson rolls up and starts, firing blindly into the apartment. They didn't even identify themselves as police before charging in and started firing. Insane. Look, cops, as I've said it before, okay, they're members of the biggest gang in America, okay? And that's really it. And they're the only gang that happens to be protected by the law because they're allegedly supposed to enforce it. However, of course, as I've said before, the only thing they really enforce is capitalism, protecting private property, and protecting white supremacy. That's the reality here. Now, activist Tamika Palmer marched for months following Taylor's state-sanctioned murder, okay, because that's what it is, said this, quote, Breonna was in her own home. They kicked down her door. They shot her in her sleep. And now the one man held accountable walks free? This is how the system tells us that our lives don't matter. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. She's 100% right. In this system, people like her do not matter to them. They don't matter. This is a slap in the face to every black woman in America, said legal analyst Maya Wiley. If a child had died in that apartment next door, would we still be having this conversation? Well, that would depend on the skin color of that child. Again, it's really, really sad for me to say, but that's usually what it would come down to. Because they don't care about black kids. They don't care about indigenous kids. Okay, they care about Hispanic kids. No, they only care about white kids. Okay, and so that would be the only factor there. That said, look, it's not in the hands of DOJ prosecutors, obviously. You have Judge Rebecca Grady Jennings, who is expected to issue a final sentence on Monday. Now, I do have to say that if she ends up going along with the DOJ recommendation, then, well, you would expect there to be a lot of outrage and a lot of people hitting the streets in protest, because this would be absolutely unacceptable and a complete and utter miscarriage of justice in a case that already has seen its fair share of miscarriages of justice. The fact that Hankinson was the only person to catch federal charges, again, it's absolutely unconscionable, and it's right. They're right when they say, these activists, that, yeah, people don't give a damn about black lives. They do not matter to the police. They do not matter to our government. And this is just another example of that unfortunate reality being true. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.